Look, be honest with me for a second. You've probably opened your investing app recently, stared at your portfolio, and thought, why does this feel like I'm always late to everything? Bitcoin already ran up, stocks feel expensive, real estate? Completely out of reach. And then you hear people whispering this one word again, silver. And suddenly you're thinking, wait, did I miss this too? Or is this actually my chance? If that thought has crossed your mind even once, yeah, this video's for you. My name's Ark, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, markets, and why people make the same financial mistakes over and over again. If you're someone who wants to invest but is constantly worried about bad timing, losing money, or making the wrong move, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're answering a question that sounds simple but is actually way more psychological than people realize. Is this the right time to invest in silver? Here's the thing. Most people think investing is about timing the market. They think there's a perfect moment where someone rings a bell and says, okay, now buy. That belief alone is why most people underperform, because according to data from Dalbar, the average investor earns 2 to 3% less per year than the investments they buy, purely because of bad timing and emotional decisions. Not because they're dumb, not because they don't work hard, but because they react instead of plan. And silver's one of the most emotionally misunderstood assets out there. Now you might be thinking, Ark, silver has been around forever. Why is everyone suddenly talking about it again? Great question. Let's talk numbers. Global inflation surged to multi-decade highs between 2021 and 2023. Central banks printed trillions of dollars. Interest rates rose faster than at any time since the 1980s, and trust in fiat currencies quietly declined. Historically, during periods like this, hard assets get attention. Gold usually leads the conversation, but silver follows and often moves more violently. Why? Because silver is both a precious metal, store of value, and an industrial metal, used in real stuff. That dual role is what makes silver interesting and risky. Here's what most people don't realize. There is less investable silver available today than gold. Let that sink in. According to data from the Silver Institute, over 50% of silver demand now comes from industrial use: solar panels, electric vehicles, electronics, medical equipment. Gold mostly sits in vaults. Silver gets used up, and once it's used, it's often not economically recyclable. That creates a supply pressure most people completely ignore. Let's do some simple math. Let's say silver's trading at $25 per ounce. You invest $2,500, you get 100 ounces. Now imagine silver returns to its inflation-adjusted historical high, around $50 per ounce. Your $2,500 becomes $5,000. That's a 100% gain. Sounds amazing, right? But here's the uncomfortable part. Silver has also spent years doing absolutely nothing, and this is where psychology destroys people. Silver is famous for one thing. It tests patience. People buy silver expecting fast results. When nothing happens for months, sometimes years, they get bored. Boredom leads to selling, selling leads to regret, and regret leads to buying again at higher prices later. According to behavioral finance research, loss aversion makes losses feel twice as painful as gains feel good. So when silver drops 10%, people panic. When it rises 10%, they barely feel confident. That emotional imbalance is why most silver investors lose money, not because silver is bad. Now, you might be thinking, Ark, silver isn't manipulated by big banks? Short answer is yes and no. There have been documented cases of price manipulation in silver futures markets. That's real. But here's the important part. Short-term price suppression doesn't eliminate long-term supply and demand. Markets can stay irrational longer than you expect, but fundamentals eventually matter. The problem is, most people can't wait that long. Here's where it gets really interesting. Silver doesn't move like stocks. Stocks grow through productivity and profits. Silver moves through monetary stress. Historically, silver performs best when inflation stays high, interest rates peak, and trust in institutions weaken. That doesn't mean silver will explode tomorrow. It means silver is a hedge, not a lottery ticket. And if you treat it like a lottery ticket, you'll hate owning it.
Silver versus stocks versus cash. Quick comparison. Cash is like ice. Safe short-term, melts over time. Stocks are like planting trees. Long-term growth, volatility in storms. Silver is like insurance, boring until you need it. The mistake people make is expecting insurance to outperform everything else. That's not its job. Actionable strategy, what smart investors actually do. So, is this the right time to invest in silver? Here's the real answer. It depends on why you're buying it. Smart investors allocate 5 to 10% of their portfolio to silver, buy slowly using dollar-cost averaging, and hold it as protection, not excitement. Dumb investors go all in after hype, expect quick returns, and panic sell during pullbacks. Don't be the second person. Physical silver versus ETFs versus mining stocks. Quick breakdown. Physical silver, best for long-term hedge, no counterparty risk. ETFs, convenient, liquid, but not real ownership. Mining stocks, leverage and risk, behaves more like stocks. If you're new, start simple. Don't overcomplicate this. The biggest mistake middle-class investors make. Here's the painful truth. Most middle-class investors don't fail because they choose the wrong asset. They fail because they chase trends, ignore patience, and let emotions decide timing. Silver exposes those weaknesses faster than most investments, which is exactly why it can work, if you're disciplined. Final takeaway. Look, silver won't make you rich overnight, but neither will panic, hype, or waiting for the perfect moment. The right time to invest isn't about the market, it's about having a plan before emotions take over. If silver fits your plan, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Just don't let fear or boredom decide your future. If this helped you think more clearly about silver and investing psychology, hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe if you want practical, no-hype financial education. And comment below, do you own silver or are you still on the fence? I'll see you in the next one.